We have summer waves, that is about all our summer camps, both in Miami and in Italy, because from this summer, finally, after COVID, we were able to run our first Italian summer camp that got sold out. So we're super happy and excited about this camp coming up first week of July. We have weight training. That is the training program, so classes only, no competition, that runs for middle school and high school. And then we have Miami Sand Waves, that is our sand volleyball program, beach volleyball programs that run at Carrollton School, like many of our activities, where we have 2 beach volleyball courts right on the ocean. Okay, before we move with the with a competitive season, giving you some concrete information. This is part of the coaching staff. We have some returning coaches that you already know. Some new coaches. We were able to hire one of the coaches at UM. We wanted to increase our exposure to collegiate volleyball. We already had Taylor Murray, that was an NCAA national champion. He was an assistant at FIU. We are adding Savannah Miller, that we start coaching at UM this summer. Estefania Azcoitia is a former player of the national team in Argentina, former professional player that moved here to Miami a few months ago and will join Miami Wave. Not listed here, we were able to hire the assistant coach at Barry University. So our coaching staff is getting more experienced and with a vision to what a high level volleyball is. That is what we wanted. Ciro Zoratti, that was with us this past season, will stay with us, but more on a advisory counseling position, and he will be the manager for all the international activities, since we have some additional activities in Italy that we are planning to add for this season. For the ones that don't know us, these are our core values. We strive for excellence. We want our coaches, and what we do, me and I, is that we lead by example. We want to teach our players to aim to excellence, whatever they do. Meaning that one of the things that we always say is that, since volleyball is one of the few things that they're able to choose, that these girls are able to choose at their age, they have to show that that it's a choice that makes sense, meaning that if they spend time in the gym, they have to use that time to become the best version of themselves, not to chit chat, not to mess around, not just to socialize, at least not a Miami Wave. And that excellence has no shortcuts. There are no secret sauces. There are no special magical tools, just quality, time, passion, and effort. Integrity. So we teach and treat players with respect, but mainly with honesty, meaning that we are not one of those clubs in which you hear a lot of great job, good try. We tell them what is right and what is wrong in a very honest and straight way. We correct them. We tell them things that need to be done better, because our goal is to make the uncomfortable comfortable tomorrow, meaning that these girls with us will need to get better 1% every day and try to discover what the best version of themselves is. And then, as I was telling you before, the fact that volleyball is more than just volleyball. It's about life, and there are a lot of aspects into the volleyball realm that you can bring in your life, in your adult life, in your young life, no matter what you're going to do. Then, as I was telling you before, this upcoming season will be our 4th season, the second one out of the COVID emergency, meaning that both the first season and the second season were not 2 full seasons. We had to interrupt the first one. The second one was really patchy and sketchy. So this will be our second real season. Our goals as a club is to get better, not bigger. So we decided, actually, even if the numbers at tryout doubled compared to last season, we decided to reduce the number of teams that we will have, because we are in need, for what our goals are, to find our people, meaning to find families that share our values and our goals. So this idea of working to reach excellence, and to do so, first of all, on our side, on our standpoint, we need to make sure that we can have full control of all our teams, so we cannot get too big, because first of all, we are one of those clubs that before the season hire coaches and then make the teams based on the coaches that they have. Unfortunately, many clubs, they run tryouts, they fill as many teams as they can, and then between the summer and November, they try to find coaches. It's really hard for us emotionally to manage a process like that one, because we really feel bad, and it's a struggle for us if we have girls and we are not able to give the right coach to those girls, to that team. So we go the other way around. And business-wise, I don't know if it's the right way, but it's the right way for us as human beings. So this is what we will do and what we have done. So when I say find our people, we find the right coaches, and we want to find those families that share with us these values. We want to raise the bar. This year, for the first time, again, we're the youngest club in Miami. We were able to be the top club in Miami-Dade County in a couple of age divisions. We started finally winning tournaments, so we won 5 tournaments this past season. This year we want to raise the bar, not only competitive-wise with other clubs, but mainly in what we want to achieve compared to ourselves last year. Raise the bar with what we can achieve with the girls in the gym at practice, and what we can provide to our players, and make the difference, meaning that every day more we want to make the difference for our community. And first of all, again, as volleyball coaches, but also creating a community that is together for their love of volleyball, but not only for that. So we want to make the difference and know that 10 years from now, those girls will have a good memory of what we have done together, what they achieved, and what they achieved will make the difference in who they are when they will be adults. Okay, so now, for the ones that were with us last year, these are all things that more or less were known. Again, how we bring all those goals in our real life. We are going to be a little bit stricter than what we have been in the previous year about a couple of aspects of being a player at Miami Wave. There are some requirements that we want to underline before you commit to the season, meaning that in a few days, some of you will receive an offer letter, but we want to make sure that we are on the same page. Side note, together with the offer letter, there will be a player parent handbook. There was a similar handbook also last season, 2 years ago and 3 years ago. We always had a handbook for parents. Unfortunately, I think that not many parents read it, just sign it, because in the registration page, you have to sign it. But I'm not sure that many parents read it. So we want to underline a couple of things here that are already included in the parents handbook, so that we are on the same page. And if you think that this is something that is not the right fit for you, that's fine. That's fine. It's not that we have to stick together, but we have a way to go. And, sometimes we are just not a good fit for you as a family. So the first aspect is full commitment to your team, meaning that no matter if you're in a developmental team or in a what everyone calls travel team, so more advanced team, and we will talk about these two programs later, we ask full commitment, meaning that we want to teach these girls that in the moment they commit to a team, they have a responsibility. So their presence at practice, not only their presence, but also the way they work, their attitude. But let's keep this part, let's keep it simple. Their presence at practice and their presence at tournaments makes the difference not only for that, okay, but for the whole team. So this is not a fitness class. This is not a gym membership that when you want to go to Pilates, you can go to Pilates. You don't want to go, you just don't go. It's your money. You want to go to the gym, great. You don't want to go to the gym, it's your money. There's a responsibility for the team, meaning that if I'm a player and 6 players show up instead of 12 at practice, my practice is worse. And it's worse, why? Because the other 6 players didn't come to practice first. Second thing, if I go to practice and my coach introduces new concepts and 6 of my teammates don't come to practice, next time we have to repeat the same concept. So I'm wasting my time because of you that you don't come to practice. Same thing for tournaments. This year we had to drop out from a couple of tournaments with some teams because we didn't reach the minimum number of players to participate in the tournament. That is 8 for us, because it's a safe number. If one get injured, you still have enough players to complete the tournament. And this is a lack of respect for the players that want to play, and those families that paid to play the tournament. So we want to make sure that if you receive an offer letter, you understand that the commitment is full, meaning that in September, we announce the full tournament schedule and the full practice schedule. So you have the practice schedule from October to May or June. So you know exactly every day at what time your daughter is going to practice and in what weekends you're going to have a tournament. So you can plan in advance, because late August, the first tournament is in January. I'm sure that you can learn it. You can learn it. You can plan in advance. We want families that are able to commit for their team. Otherwise, this is not the right place. Okay, we can offer you the training program, wave training. You want to come, you come. You don't want to come, you don't come. Okay, or we can suggest you other clubs, and we are willing to do it. We want everyone to play volleyball. We can suggest you other clubs that eventually can accept your partial commitment. Okay, and Miami Wave from this year will be strict, meaning that with more than 8 absences from practice, unexcused. So, not obviously if you're sick, you're sick. If there's a school event, there's a school event. Okay, but other than that, so school and sickness or injuries. But for injuries, we have many players that come to practice anyway, just to listen, check the balls, do some conditioning. So injuries doesn't mean that you cannot come to the gym. We as direction have the right to expel players from the club. Same thing for absences from tournaments. Okay. The other part is being a student athlete, meaning that school doesn't mean that I miss practice maybe an entire week because there are finals. No, I think that the good thing about volleyball, about sport generally, is to teach girls how to manage their time. So time management is one of those great aspects of being a student athlete. So having players that miss a full week of practice because they're in their finals and they cannot practice for 1 hour and a half at 6:30 p.m. is not an excuse absence. So this is, to clarify point number one. Point number two, we want players that are in love with excellence. Excellence as a state of mind, a state of being, meaning if I have to do something and I have to do it, I do it in the best way I can. Okay, we don't want players that are just there to socialize. The social part of volleyball is huge. Okay, but the social part is having a group of girls that share the same passion and the same goal of becoming better as a team. Because in the moment there are 4 or 5 players that just want to be there to be there with their friends, and 5 of them that want to push hard, then problem starts. So again, we're looking for players that are willing to put discipline and hard work every single day they spend in the gym, so that we can have a team that work together with the same goal. And that's the social aspect of a team, sharing passion and sharing a goal. So moving everyone in the same direction. Otherwise, there is no social life. And then we want players and families that understand that things must be earned. That your fee at Miami Wave pays for instruction, for very broad, very detailed and democratically distribute knowledge of volleyball, meaning that if you come to practice and you see me coaching, I coach everyone in the same way. The one that is the best player on the court and the one with less playing time. Everyone gets the same attention from me, the same one. But playing time, to say just one thing, must be earned. So we don't give playing time because a fee was paid. Girls have to work hard, have to show up, work hard, compete for their spot together with the other teammates, and then get their playing time. But in life, as well as in the gym, things must be earned. So we don't want little champions. We don't want players that are great because they made the JV team or they made a varsity junior high team. They just have to work hard, have discipline, a great respect for their teammates and for their coaches, and this is it. And then the rest is based on coach's decision. So if we find those kind of families that understand that this is a learning experience, and then obviously playing time is part of the learning experience, but must be earned, is not granted. We are on the right path to go in the direction we want to go as a club. Okay, now that I bored you with a lot of philosophical things, I think that they're the most important one to understand if this is the right place for you. And we wanted to be straight since the beginning, like clear from the beginning, so that there are no, second thought, or you came to the club thinking about other stuff. This is what we can offer. Okay, club season, the competitive one. So competitive team. Pre-season from October 4th to November 7th. Why pre-season? Because there are a lot of girls that in these 4 weeks, October 4, November 7, are still playing school volleyball. Okay, not all of them, some of them. So these 4 weeks of pre-season boot camp, in which every team, no matter if it's a travel team or a local team, has 2 practices a week. Practices are more skill developmental, meaning that we work on their individual skills, plus 2 strength and conditioning sessions at Carrollton School. These 4 weeks are not mandatory, are obviously highly suggested, but since they overlap with school volleyball, if some of the girls cannot come, we totally understand that. That's the reason why we did a sort of special situation for the girls. Then we have the real competitive season that goes from November 8 to May 15, 2 or 3 practices a week, depending on age or level, for 1.5 hours for 2 hours. Then I will explain you age level, 2, 3 practices and how we divide. Strength and conditioning program for the aqua team. Then we will talk about the black teams. 8, 10 tournaments for our local and travel teams from January to May. Normally we stop during Christmas, Thanksgiving, like 4 or 5 days, Christmas time, like in school. During Easter, we stop for 3-4 days, no more than that. And during the Miami Day, the spring break, we will run clinics, meaning that it will be an off week, but we will run clinics for the ones that are in town. So there will be a special situation that will not count in the excuse and excuse session practices. AAU Nationals will be available for everyone, like an aqua team, but for the aqua team will be included, meaning that for the aqua team, the season will end in June, while for the black team will be additional. Side note, sorry, I go on talking. In the meantime, take note of all the questions that you have. You can start writing them in the chat, or you can wait the Q&A moment to just share them with us. Okay, so we divide the teams in aqua and black. The aqua teams are the ones that are their club called national or state, depending. We don't divide them like that, but they travel. They travel and they have overnight tournaments in which you have to get your hotel and stay far from the tri-county area. While the black teams are more regional, so they have tournaments that are mainly in the tri-county area. So for both, even if the way we wrote it down is different, there's mandatory present tour practices, but we already talked about that. Aqua teams, 3 practices a week, 2 during the week and 1 during the week. Okay, meaning that when we have a tournament, there's no practice, obviously. 1 conditioning session every week included, 8 and tournaments depending on the age. Out of these 8 and tournaments, 3 or 4 are travel tournaments qualifier. Okay, so are 3 days tournament. And then again, the AAU Nationals are included, and AAU Nationals will be right now. So normally in the second half of June in Orlando. Black teams, same idea for the practices and tournaments. 2 practices a week, normally during the weekend, during the weekdays. Last year we had, I think, 1 team that actually preferred to do one practice on Sunday, and it was working for us, so we made it happen. Again, same number of tournaments, 8, 10 tournaments in the tri-county area. Some of them are 1-day tournament, meaning that there's a local league that is perfect for the younger ages, for the middle school, elementary school ages. That is 1 day only, normally on Saturday. So they will play, the black team will play this league, plus additional 2 days tournament, again, in the tri-county area. And then AAU Nationals will be defined on a team basis, meaning that between March and April, we will check team by team, the level of participation, of potential participation of the families, and we'll see if there's an opportunity to bring that team to the AAU Nationals. Sorry. So these are our teams, the names of our teams. So when you will receive an offer letter, you will receive an offer letter for one of these teams. So Acqua and Acqua Mizuno means our first travel team, and Acqua Mizuno is our second travel team. Okay, and Black Mizuno are our first local team and our second local team. Okay, you will receive an offer letter in which we define some girls' odds, but are we the one that have to ask for a spot in an Aqua team or a Black team? No, we as coaching staff define the level. We make an assessment that is our assessment. You can agree or not, meaning that it's our picture of the girls of your daughter in this moment, and we offer a spot in one of the teams. I will tell you about the tryout process later. Fees. Okay, so you receive an offer letter. To secure your spot in the team, you will need to pay the deposit, meaning that there will be a link to register on TeamSnap. That is the same platform that you use to register for the tryouts. You pay the deposit, and your spot in the team is secure. So you're good to go. If we don't receive a notification from you in the 48 hours after you receive the offer letter and the deposit, we start calling the waiting list, because we don't want those girls to lose a spot if they have the chance, since they want to play at Miami Wade. On September 1st, there will be the payment for the apparel package. And I will show you later what it includes. And then from October 1st to May 1st, you will play monthly installments. So every first day of the month, the credit card on file will be charged by TeamSnap. These 8 installments don't mean that each month you can, like at the end of the month, you can just withdraw your daughter from the club. And this is the same in every single club. There's no difference. The commitment is for the full season, meaning that you're responsible for the payments of the season, no matter of the structure of the payments. There are clubs that charge 4 or 3 installments at the beginning of the season, and in January you're done paying. We know that every family has, different financial situation, and we are fine charging monthly, but it doesn't mean that it's a monthly commitment. Also, because it's impossible for us to replace players that leave in the middle of the season when the cost expenses of a team management remain fixed. So that's the reason why you have to secure the number of players for the team, so that you know that you can cover the cost of the team. 8 installments for both Aqua and Black teams. Okay, so there will not be any additional payment for the AAU. Like if you're with us this year, you know that you pay additional at the end. If you're an Aqua team, you know that your monthly payments are paying also for the AAUs that will be played in June. And then we offer 10% sibling discount if you bring 2 girls. Here on the side, you see the fees for our Black teams and Aqua teams. They're more or less the same of every other, leading club in Miami. We, even if costs are going up, we are doing our best to keep prices, close to what they were last season. Knowing that practicing in Coconut Grove and where we practice is anyway, a little bit more expensive than having a facility in Doral. Okay, so let me open a chapter here. These are our current facilities. We are adding other two that are 99.9% secured in the Grove area. But until we get the official contract, I will not add them there. But let's say we are doing our best to get more practice slots in the Coconut Grove and Coral Gables area, even if Jose Marti is 2 blocks from Brickell City Center, so it's pretty convenient. And Slam is not too far away, and this is a gym that we use for the past 3 years, and it's a huge gym with a lot of practice space. So it's a gym that actually makes our life as coaches really easy and fun to practice. Okay, so this is the Mizuno package: 1 backpack, 2 sublimated jersey, long sleeve, 2 spandex, 3 practice tees, 1 long sleeve practice hoodie, 1 game day hoodie, 3 pairs of socks, and 1 pair of knee pads. Other than everything that we said about the team, we try to do during the season events with our teams, with our club. Generally, we had this year an event with a psychologist on how to be the parent of a student athlete, and actually you can find the video on our website. We did with the girls event with the nutritionist, with the Golden State Warriors nutritionist. We did events with no profits. Like this was one of the days, it was the day that we cleaned Miami Beach together with some of the girls that were with us that day. So we use, the volleyball sometimes as an excuse to bring awareness on other social aspects that are important. Then again, as I was telling you before, in a couple of weeks, actually, we will have our first Miami Wave in Italy camp with more than 20 girls, many of them from Miami Wave, and we have some external ones. We're super excited about this opportunity that the girls will get, and we'll make sure to share pictures and comments on our social channels. In addition, this upcoming season, we are working to bring at least one of our teams to Europe for a volleyball tournament during the season. Okay, so season roadmap. So you come to our tryout, maybe you already came, maybe you will come in July. So this year we will give some of the spots for a team at the end of this week. So for all the girls that came in June, and some of the spot will be granted after the July tryout session, meaning that more or less half of them will be, or more, depending on the cases, will come from the June players, from the players that show up in June, and the other ones will be offered once that we have the full picture of who will show up in July, but also the players that came in June that still didn't get eventually an offer. starting from Saturday. When I say starting, I say it because please leave us a couple of days. Starting Saturday, June 25th, we'll start sending out emails. Okay, in the emails you will find an offer letter, a link to register, and to secure your spot with the deposit, asking you to reply in 48 hours. You will receive 3 different kinds of email. A spot for an aqua team, a spot for a black team. Okay. Option number 1. Option 2 will ask you to wait if you want to until the second tryout session. That is the same thing that we did last year. Or we will offer you a spot in one of our weight training classes, meaning that if you think that you're still not ready, or anyway that in this moment we don't have a spot in one of our competitive teams, since we will not have a spot for everyone. It's clear based on the numbers. We will offer you a spot in one of our non-competitive classes. Plus, we're more than happy to help you, eventually assisting with finding a spot in another club in case. So you will receive an offer, one of these 3. You have 48 hours to accept the offer. We'll not send reminders, we'll not send, make a courtesy call. We send an email, we send a text message. We count 48 hours. If you don't reply, we move on. Okay, we don't want to bother you. If you have questions, obviously you can contact us before making a final call. So we are here to make your decision the most complete and satisfactory we can. But on the other hand, we want to respect those players that are willing to have a spot at Miami Wave, and they're patiently waiting for other families to reply. Then in the moment we secure our spot, your spot, you secure your spot, we have our teams that should happen, at the end of July. And we are ready to go for the season. We will have a fitting night, probably at the end of August, first week of September. A mandatory parents' night, meaning that all the parents will need to come physically to, normally it's Carrollton School, for a parents' night in which you will meet your coach. We will share with you some information about the season that are necessary. And then we will do a bonding event on another day with the club and with your coach and team to know each other, to meet you parents, and to start the season in the best way. Okay, Mia, did I forget anything? Probably.
No, not for right now. I was just about to reply to the 2 comments/questions in the chat. Okay, while you're talking.
I saw them now.
I can type in the answers, don't worry.
Yeah, but I will answer for the ones that eventually don't know how to open the chat, or if you have other questions, feel free to go on and write them. So practices will always be at Carrollton Gym? No, practices will not be at Carrollton Gym, always. As I told you, right now we have 3 gyms that are already locked, that are the same ones that we used last year. Then we are adding, but again, the reason why we didn't write them here is because even if it's 99% sure, we don't write it until it's 100% sure. There are 2 gyms almost walking distance from Carrollton School. But we don't share the practice schedule, first of all, because we still don't know exactly the teams that we will make. And second thing, because we don't have a full picture. We don't have the 100% of those two gyms. So if you wanna commit right now, you know that those are the gyms that we can use. In addition, there would be two gyms that are no more than 5 minutes from Carrollton School. No more than 5 minutes, actually, from Carrollton School. If it's enough for you to commit, great. If it's not enough for you to commit, you have to wait for July, for the July tryouts. Then I think we will have the full picture of the practice schedule. Does the wave club training and tournament schedule overlap with the Carrollton JV and varsity schedules? Can a Carrollton player be a wave player? Okay, so first question is, the first answer is no. So there is never overlap between school season and club season, other than what I was telling you before, that month of boot camp that is not mandatory. It's not mandatory, meaning that if there's a school game and you don't want to come to practice, it's okay. You don't come to practice. But then middle school's volleyball season ends mid-October, meaning that from mid-October there is no overlap. So from there are no more excused absences. Can a Carrollton player be a away player? Yes. Yes. I want to say another thing. Obviously, since we are based in Carrollton, we have a lot of girls from Carrollton, even if they're not the majority of our players. And then they're not the school that is most represented. On the other hand, the fact that you're a Carrollton student doesn't mean that you have the right to make the team away. So Miami Wave is an entity that is renting the facility at Carrollton, the gym at Carrollton, but there is no association between the two entities. So I'm more than happy, since I'm the Carrollton coach, to have in the gym with us, players that I'm able to coach in the fall at Carrollton, and I'm able to coach during the season at Wave. But by no means there's a priority access because because someone comes from Carrollton. When are the second round of tryouts? July 17th. That's the Wave Club training. I already read this one. Will you notify us if our daughter doesn't make a team? Yes. Yes, we'll notify everyone. One question, is AAU mandatory if you are part of Aqua? So let me answer in a philosophical, but the idea was that, so until this year for the new players, for the new families, until this year, and what we have done also this current season, now we are in Orlando for the AAUs. For every team was ending the season in May. And then we were running another round of tryouts based on the responses that we were getting from our current player, meaning Aqua U15 Aqua. We contact all the families and say, hey, on May 15, the season ends. Do you want to come to the AAUs? Yes, no. Okay, if you want to come, this is the fee for a returning player. Okay, when we know that, let's say 6 out of 12 players of the U15 Aqua come back for the AAU, we know that we have to run tryouts for an additional 4, 5, 6 spots in the U15 Aqua team. This year, we wanted to change the mindset, meaning the AAUs are part of the season and you're paying for those, no matter if you're coming or not. You pay for it because we want the team to go to the AAUs. Then you say, Marco, Mia, I obviously would pay for it There's no option to not pay for it if I'm not going to it. So that's the reason why we're trying to force families to come. But if you say, you know, we always travel, we love to do the season, but we cannot come to the AAUs, we will run anyway a new round of tryout just for the summer season, just for the AAUs. So a new player will join from May 16 to the AAU, and we replace the player that is not coming with us. For the travel team, do we get the schedule in advance, meaning where the tournament will be? Yes. So again, end of August, first week of September, you get the schedule. You get the schedule, you know exactly the days that you have the tournament, and you know the location. Plus, we block a block of rooms. So we get a block of rooms in one of the hotels in proximity to the venue, so that you can get your room, all of you in the same hotel. Okay, and for that our team parents, team moms will normally help in the process. Okay, Rosa, another question. Is it being recorded? Yes. So this meeting will be recorded. Or will be recorded. It's being recorded. And will be online tomorrow. Can a player try out again in July if the player tried out in June and did not get a team invite? Yes. Is there a fee for tryout? Yes. You can go online in the 2022-23 season. Register for the tryout is $50, payable only online. This is the highest number of players you would have on a team. Is there a cap? Yes. The cap is 12 players. 12 players because this is a good number to practice, meaning that you can play 6 on 6. And at the same time, these allow you to go to tournaments with a good number of players in order to compete, even if a couple are sick or injured, like it happened in the past. I just say one thing, because there are clubs that keep 10 players or 9 players. Every year there are less clubs, right, that keep 9 players in a team, but there are some clubs that keep 9 players on a team. First of all, we normally play more tournaments than other clubs, so these at the end of the year, you know, give more playing time to everyone, even if you have a couple of extra players. 2, a lot of clubs that have 9 players or 10 players in a roster practice with multiple teams on the same court. That is not easy to manage, and I think that it's hard to run an efficient full season. It can happen that you have multiple teams on a club. Most of all in the older ages, it's hard to run an efficient practice with so many players on the court, with teams with different needs. So there are always pros and cons. So we think that 12 is the right number. We never go higher than 12. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 11. We had teams with 10, we have teams with 11, we have teams with 12. We never bring more than 12 players at the tournament. Will your youngest team be 11U? And will there be one 11U Aqua and one? Yeah? No, we decide not to travel with U11. So both our U11 will be black, meaning that if you receive a U11 offer with a black team, it's not that you were not offered the Aqua team. We don't offer travel teams because honestly, we think that it's not necessary, because while you know it's glittery to offer a travel team, like it seems almost that your daughter is better because she travels. Your daughter doesn't become better because she's part of a national team. Your daughter is the same player if she's part of a national team. They make her look better. So we think that the level of competition in the Miami-Dade area or close by in the Tri-County area is good enough to bring the girls to the next level. There are a lot of good teams, and there's no need to spend a lot of money to go to play a tournament in Orlando or in Atlanta or in Chicago when the level of competition here is good enough to improve the level of your daughter's skill and the level of the team. So that's the reason why we think that asking you to spend a lot of money to travel at that age in elementary school is not necessary. That's our point of view. Wasn't able to download birth certificate when I registered for tryouts in July. So can my daughter bring it to tryouts along with the AAU card? Yes. Can you clarify how many U15 team you will have next season, or you still don't know? We have an idea, but we'll wait until the end of this week also to check how many registration we will have at the end of this week for July, and then we will make a final call. So sorry if we cannot answer. It would just be not a complete answer. I don't know if I missed any question. Any other question? Mia?
No, there was another question. How many Aqua U15 teams will you have next season? I think you missed that one.
2. Right? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes. So if my child try out during this June, this weekend, we will either get an invitation for Aqua Black, or if not, a training group. Correct. Given that we only have 48 hours to respond, we will get at least one email, and if not, what day do we reach out if we have heard nothing, to make sure we don't miss a window? So what we will do is that we will send you both an email and a text message. So in this way, we are sure that we will reach out to you. So unfortunately, it's hard for us because we had 200 girls showing up 2 weeks ago. So we cannot call everyone. Again, it's a family-owned business. So we will send to everyone the email, and we will send also at the same time a text message to the phone numbers that we have on file, so that you know that since it's a business email, sometimes to someone, if you have strict rules, it goes in the spam box. We don't want you to lose it. So we notify you in multiple ways to multiple phone numbers and all the email addresses that we have on file. So if you're receiving our emails, like the ones for the tryout, the one with the brochure, the invitation tonight, you should be good to go. So the text give you more or less the time that we send the email, so that you know what your window is. Obviously, if we offer you a spot in a training group, you don't need to answer in the following 48 hours, because anyway, registrations will open later in July. What we will do is that since the training program goes full, sold out pretty fast, we will give you a priority window, meaning that to all those girls that we offer a spot in the training program, plus all the players that were in the training program last year, we offer 1 week of priority registration. So we don't announce it, we don't advertise it, it's not on the website. And we will base the registration, you will have 1 week to register before we open to everyone. So you're sure that you have a spot for you. Do you know already who the coaches will be for U15? Yes, but you will get it in the offer letter. Just because we want to make sure that with the time, the practice time, the gyms that we are adding, and again, with the number of teams that we are doing. And again, as I was saying before, we want to wait until the end of this week to check exactly the numbers of the tryouts in July to know which teams we will do for sure. And then we will confirm the coaches for those teams, knowing that those are the teams that we are making. I don't know if it makes sense. Training program starts at what age? 6th grade. So what is that? 12 years old. Okay, give you 10 seconds to write. Okay, another. When the Little Waves registration open? Mia, that's a question for you.
Okay, so Little Waves, for all of those that are already on the waiting list since probably September 2021, we will open up priority registration probably end of June. Let me open up my calendar. So by end of June, correct. Okay, and we will give you at least, I would say, 5 days to register for Little Waves, and then we will open it to everyone else, okay, to the public, on our website. We will send an email to all of our subscribers. Just please keep in mind, for everyone that is interested in, joining Little Waves, we are still carrying a waiting list of 40 plus kids from last year. Okay, and next year we will add another class. We will have 3 classes of Little Waves, which is good, so we can increase, a little bit the capacity. But, the spots, they fill out so quickly, and it's so heartbreaking for us not being able to offer to everyone a spot. So the only way that we can do it is on a first come, first served basis, besides, giving priority to players that have already been with us and with players that, have been signed up on that waiting list for such a long time. I hope this answers the question. And the program will start in September.
I think you already find all the information of Little Waves for the next season online. And there's a form to be included in the waiting list. Training program has no games tournaments. Well, actually, we are planning this year, since numbers are every year bigger in the training program, to start having internal tournaments and small tournaments eventually with other clubs that have a developmental program in the area. So there will be a sort of short season in the second part of the school year. How many coaches are there per team? 2 for every practice. For tournaments, it depends, meaning that there will be times in which teams have just one coach on the bench. We think that is really important to have an assistant coach for practices, because it gives rhythm, pace. It gives twice the feedback. For the tournaments, it depends on the tournament, because we have some coaches that have a schedule that overlap. So in the teams where there's an overlap of coaches, we don't want to promise 2 coaches, and normally there should be, but there are times in which there is just one. If you get in the training program, do you have to pay the $500 deposit? No. In the moment you will register, there will be a registration fee that I think it's between $50 and $90. I don't know.
I think, yeah, $70.
$70.
$70.
But no. This $500 deposit, and I add one thing, $500 deposit is because what happens if you don't, unfortunately, it would be nice if in this world, you just give your word and that's it. We had in the past families that paid the deposit that was lower, and then they just went to another club when we closed the teams. So like in September, when it's hard at that point to fill a spot. First of all, we decided that those players are no more welcome, meaning that if you pay the deposit and then in September you go somewhere else, you cannot play in Miami Wave anymore, because unfortunately, again, it's not respectful for the team. It's great if you find a place, an opportunity that is different, that is better for you. But again, since we are about commitment with your team and being a good teammate, we don't think that is the right way to do. And since we want a community that is strong on these values, we decided we don't accept players that pay the deposit and then they leave. We had to raise it, unfortunately, because of this reason, to place an entry point a little bit higher, so that we know the families. We don't know, but we expect families to, stick with us. And again, if the information that we give are not enough to commit, don't. If you are not sure and you want to wait for another club because you want to play in another club, even if I don't know why you should play in another club, but if you want to play in another club, don't commit. It's okay. We just want to make sure that we are the right fit for you. And if we are not, or you want to take more time, take more time. Just, don't exclude another player just because in the meantime you wanna keep a seat in your second choice that eventually is Miami Wave. Is July 17th the last day of tryout? Will there be another makeup tryout date? So if we are able to fill all our teams on July 17th, we will not have another round of tryouts. If for any reason we need to fill some spots in one or more of our teams, we will have another tryout date in August, probably closer to the beginning of the school season. Is there grandfathering of the girls that have already been playing with Wave? In other words, for your top aqua team, it's very difficult to enter if you haven't played with Wave before. No. So there's no grandfather, meaning that I think, and I speak for both Mia and me and for the coaching staff, obviously players that we already know because they were with us have an advantage that we know them, they know our system, they know, how the culture is, and so we are glad to have returning players, and we always welcome, not we always welcome, but we're glad to have players that come back to Miami Wave, and we are glad that so many players actually every year come back, because we have a retention rate that is over 95%. On the other hand, we are a growing club, growing again, not in size this year. We decided to grow in quality. And I think that in these years, eventually, we understood that there are players that probably, are in need of another environment. Were with us, and they're in need eventually of another environment to grow and become better. So we are always happy to, have new players coming, and I'm sure that there will be players coming in July. There have been players coming in June that reflect who we want to be, and that we will love to have at Miami Wave next year. So it's not that if you were a Miami Wave player last year in that team, you know, you're a Miami Wave player again for the team the following year. It's a competitive environment. We love all our players, but on the other hand, it's a competitive environment. And since we are a young club, every year we see players at tryouts that have more quality, that are more thrilled about volleyball, that are willing to work hard every year more, and the quality is raising and is improving. So it's normal that we as a club go in that direction. And sometimes, you know, you have to make some calls in which you give space to some of the new players, because again, the commitment is for 1 year, even if we always try to do our best for the players that were with us and to help them in any possible way. If you have acceptance offer and don't pay deposit within 48 hours, are you automatically drop off your list? No. Well, I don't know if I understood the question. So drop off your list? No, but the absence of a response is on our end is a no, meaning that if we don't receive a reply for you know, a request for more information, we have to think that you were not interested. So we just call the player that is first in the waiting list. It doesn't mean, so the things I was saying before, now about the families that pay the deposit and then they left, that for us is drop off our list, meaning that we don't accept the player anymore. But for players that simply don't reply, you know, we just think that you got a better offer, or you want to wait for other tryouts, and it's reasonable because this is a competitive market for volleyball clubs, and the offer is huge and is a great offer. There are a lot of good clubs in Miami. So we just think that you don't want to accept the offer. Okay, 10 seconds to write other question. Otherwise, we call it. Okay, 5, 4.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, you can.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. It's right along the lines of what you were just talking about in regards to not accepting the offer within the 48 hours or paying the deposit. So to clarify, what I meant was, like, for example, if you're not ready at that moment, you still have, you know, questions, maybe you're trying out for another team, you're trying to see which team fits better. If you don't pay or accept within the 48 hours, let's say the following week you decide this is it, this is the team we want to play, is that it? You're off the list, meaning since you didn't pay the deposit, you're not eligible to come back if the spot is still open?
If the spot is still open, sure. Yes, you can come back. We just cannot guarantee it.
Okay.
Meaning that we try to fill a certain amount of spot now, Okay, obviously we have players that, in our opinion, can fit that level and that team. So if we have other players that fit that team in the list, and let's say we have 12 players, we make an offer to 12 players for a team, no, and 3 of them don't reply or say no. If we still have 3 players that for us fit the level, but they didn't receive an offer, we send them that offer, you know, that was refused by other 3 players. If they accept it, and let's say you call 1 week after, maybe that spot is not there anymore. So you have priority on that spot for 48 hours. Then we start contacting other players that are on our list and that show up at tryouts. And again, it's your call, parents. We really think that is, so in Europe, you don't have tryout. And it's a process that is painful for you parents, more than for us. Now, for us, it's a lot of work, but it's not painful like for you families, because you want the best thing for your daughter. And it's hard, again, because the offer is so broad. There are a lot of options around. Everyone is running tryouts in different moments. And the reason why we run them in June is that for us, in our opinion, placing them right in the middle between the end of the school year and the beginning of the following school year is insane, meaning that there are a lot of families that are out of town. If it were for us, we would place them right the day after the school ends. And so, you know, you can leave, you can go out of town. All the clubs, it's not that we are placing them there because we want to be the first. We're just trying to help families that want to commit with Miami Wave and say, you know what, I know that I want to play with you guys. Just let's do this thing. And I will go on vacation for the rest of the summer. See you in August. If you're not ready yet, I think that the best thing is to come back in July, or anyway, just, you know, if you receive an offer saying, guys, sorry, we know that eventually we will lose the spot, but if I were you, I would never commit to a team just because you're worried that you will not get anything else. I would come back in July, and July is the same week that everyone else runs tryout. But I would not, unfortunately, I would take the risk not to play, and I'm saying it, you know, probably not doing the right thing for me as business owner, no. But I think it would not be the right move to just say, well, you know, eventually we'll lose. I cannot lose the spot at Miami Wave because what if they don't give me a spot in another club? If this is not your first choice, wait. This is my 2 cents. But yeah, just advices aside, I hope that the answer was clear about the process.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sure. When are you announcing the name of the coaches, with the offer letter or later after you sign your second tryout? No, with the offer letter, we'll send the names of the coaches. Facilities are Carrollton, Jose Marti, Islam, and possibly another location close to Carrollton. Yes. Will practices be in the same location every week once that is established? Yes. Same days, same location, meaning that the first month, so the boot camp, we try to do everything at Carrollton. Since we do more skill clinics, the schedule is different. So those 4 weeks of conditioning and skill clinics, they normally are all at Carrollton. Then when the team season start, you have your schedule. Obviously, you have your schedule already, I told you, in August. And every week is the same. Every week is the same. So you know that, I don't know, on Tuesday you go to Carrollton from 6:30 to 8:30. On Thursday you go to, I don't know, Slam from 6 to 8. On Sunday you go to Carrollton from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then the schedule remains the same. It can happen probably happen 2 times or 3 times a year, that there's an event, since we use school facilities, that one night there's an event in one of these gyms, so we have to make up practice and do it somewhere else. But it's an extraordinary thing. It doesn't happen every single week. It's a very extemporary thing. And we always make up practices, meaning that the 3-4 times a year that we have to move practice because we don't have the gym that night, we always make it up. So you will never, we never cancel. We don't want to cancel. We always make up practice because for us is religiously important to practice. Last one, no, 2. What does a typical practice look like? For instance, do all U15 teams train with each other and play with each other, or they are separated by level? No, each team practice by itself, except for our U11, U12 teams. I have one practice that is more on a, since U11 and U12 do more technical skill development drills. They have one practice that is run by one of our master coaches, and we do more technical stuff all together because they need more or less the same stuff. But all our teams practice independent, and that's the reason why we have 12 players on one court with 2 coaches. Then there are times in which we do scrimmages together, because normally our facilities have 2 courts. So if U15 and U16, let's say, practice at the same time, there are times that eventually, to prepare a tournament, we scrimmage on one court, and in the meantime on the other courts, the players that are not playing do some technical drills with the other coaches. But normally every team has its own coach and its own program, meaning goals, obviously supervised and defined together with technical directors.
Wait, may I just circle back a little bit on the U11s and U12 combined practice? Sure. So let's clarify. So the U11s and the 12s black team will eventually, do the skills training together. The U12 Aqua will have, their own separate practices. Just
correct. Yeah, you're right. So U12 Aqua runs a separate practice. One thing that I didn't mention, normally, since all the Aqua teams have the third practice on Sunday at Carrollton, normally the Sunday practice is the most technical one, and the most individual one, meaning that practice this year will be almost a positional class, while the 2 practices during the week will obviously have always a skill development part, because anyway, volleyball is a skill sport, meaning that if you don't possess, you don't own, control your technique, it's tough to play. But there's also a tactical part of the session. So a team strategy related part. Sunday will be really dedicated to the skill development divided by position. So improve those skills that are specific for the position that you play. Okay. Last one, but it's not the last one. There's another one. Earliest time practice can start. Some schools finish at 4 p.m. Thank you. 6 p.m. 5:30 p.m. Depending on the gyms. 5:30 p.m. Then at Carrollton until basketball season ends, so February, We start at 6:30 because basketball in every single school gym everywhere ends at 6:30, school basketball. From the end of school basketball season, we can enter the gym earlier. So normally we anticipate a little bit. But yeah, from the earliest we have is 5:30 p.m. for the younger ages, and obviously U15, U16, and sometimes U14, they practice on the later slot. So they finish around 9 or 9:30, depending on the gyms that they use. Can parents attend to see practices? No, not in our club. No, for the conformation of our gym, meaning that we don't have a separate area. No, because we think that a lot of players are I don't want to say negatively impacted. They're not, but we have players that always look at their parents, and unfortunately we have parents that we had parents in the past. I'm sure that you're not one of those that have that tendency to coach, and we don't accept parents to coach. Parents parent, coach is coach. We think that we like the fact that the team practice together with no parents. We grew up without parents. We, meaning me and I, grew up without parents watching our practices. So that's the reason why in our club we don't accept parents at practice. You can come and watch all the tournaments, obviously. Will we get the schedule of practice dates, times, location at the same time or before as the offer letter? No, unfortunately, we will not be able to give you a practice schedule with the offer letter now. We will be able to do, and honestly, I don't think that the other clubs do it. But it's not important. You're asking about us. Normally we do it. So the previous year we have always done it. So when you were receiving your offer letter, you had obviously the name of the team, the draft of the practice time, but in the previous 3 years we never changed it, and the name of the coach. There are two reasons why we will probably not be able to give you the practice time now. We'll be able to do it in July. Well, actually, one that is the main one, that again we need to have that 100%. So the contract for the usage of these other two gyms first, and second thing, in Miami, even if they're already even if the gyms that we already have are already confirmed, July 1st is the day where when we can sign with the city of Miami and the schools the new agreements for the following year. So we prefer, other than say something, write down something and then change it in 2 weeks, we prefer to be honest and say, listen, right now, if you wanna commit, you have to commit without knowing the exact practice schedule. That we will not send you farther than that, meaning that if it's not one of those gyms, it's a gym in Coconut Grove. It's not that you sign and then we say, well, we were joking, we practice in I don't know, Midtown or Miami Beach. Those are the gyms. We still don't know. It's not that we still don't know. We're still not 100% sure of the schedule. So we don't want to share it and then change. We share it when we know That's the one. Any other question? I know that sometimes I give answers that don't please everyone, but we cannot please everyone. And it would be silly to please everyone now and then displease you during the season. I prefer to displease you now and you look for something that is a better fit for you as a family. And, you know, this way you can have a great experience wherever you go, other than telling you something that then will not be true now and change it during the season.
Yeah, and if I just may, because there were some questions, you know, regarding the facilities and if the teams will be practicing only at Carrollton, and I want to circle back to our main points and focus for, you know, this upcoming year and going forward. We want to increase quality, and we want we will, you know, have strict rules, and we want players that are committed and families that are committed. So if you are thinking that, you know, playing volleyball at Miami Waves means practicing at Carrollton, and this is the only thing, or, you know, one of the most important thing because it's a convenient location, it's a beautiful location, whatever, maybe you should think a little bit about it, because this is not the case. Okay, so if you commit to Miami Wave, you commit to whatever the schedule is and whatever facilities we will give you in the schedule. Just want to point that out because there were a lot of, you know, questions about Carrollton facility, and I want to tie it back to what our goals and future strategies are, you know, going forward for our teams. Commitment. So no matter if we practice 3 times at Carrollton or only once at Carrollton and 2 times at Slam or whatever the facility will be, that should not be the concern, and that should not be the metrics while you choose Miami Wave. We choose Miami Wave because of our goals, because of our coaches, because of our methodology, and because of what we want to do going forward with our girls, okay? Just want to point that out and, you know, underline it before we get those tons of emails about, oh, but I thought it was going to be at Carrollton. No, no one is saying the practices are going to be 100% at Carrollton. And if you choose Miami Wave, you choose Miami Wave because of our coaching staff and our great, you know, values and everything else, not because of the, you know, facility, one of the facilities that is Carrollton.
But we promise you we don't send you to Dorado. That's the problem.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah. We don't send you farther than Slam. Again, the 2 options that we are adding are in the Grove and in Coral Gables. So there's nothing farther than that, other than the 3 facilities that you see in the keynote. So I think we are at the end. I don't see any other question, so I'm going to click stop. Thank you so much for coming. We really hope, sorry if it was too long, 1 hour, 40 minutes. We really hope that it was helpful for you, both returning players and new players. We really hope that no matter what, no matter where you will go next year, if it will be Miami Wave, we hope so, or in another club, you will enjoy your volleyball season. And if you wanna ask more questions, feel free to send us an email. You will receive a video and keynote later tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much for everyone. Thank you so much, Mia. We hope to see you all soon on the volleyball court. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.